Welcome to Physical Education at Godalming College. I am sorry that we can't meet face to face at the moment, but hopefully this short video will help answer some of the common questions that we get asked at this time of year and prepare you for your interactive sessions on the 25th and 26th of June. Although the PE department consists of 11 teachers and coaches, you'll be taught by just 2 members of staff throughout your 2 years at college. I'm Danny Bonney, generally known just as Bonnie throughout the college, and the other member of staff is Kevin Broad. Here's a typical looking timetable for a lower 6 PE student. If you look in the red circles, you can see 3 1.5 hour lessons that make up your 4.5 hours available physical education. If you're a sports team player, we'll get an hour's training session on a Tuesday afternoon, and then Wednesday afternoons are free for our matches that run all the way from September to April, and we normally compete about 20 fixtures or so in that time. You will also have a personal tutor session. This one happens to be on a Wednesday, and you'll see some big gaps that might be filled if you have put down some interest in the plus enrichment. This could be 5-a-side, for example, in sport. Then that will be slot in the first 2 periods on Friday, and when you receive your timetable, you'll have some of these study periods here that are slightly flexible, but you can use in the library to complete homework and preparation tasks. If we look at the specification for A-level PE, we'll see that there are 2 exams at the end of the 2-year course. Both exams are 2 hours long, and they're made up of 3 sections, and each section contains a mixture of multiple choice, short answer and some essay style questions. These 2 exam papers make up 70% of the final grade. The other 30% comes from a mixture of practical assessment in just one sport and written coursework on an evaluation and analysis of the sport of your choice. It's well worth checking even at this early stage to make sure that your sport is accessible on A-level PE, and you'll be able to see the full specification for that in the Microsoft Teams account when we do the live days on the 25th and 26th of June. As we saw on the previous slide, each exam paper has 3 sections: a science section, a psychology section, and a sport and society section. If we look at the science section first, many of the areas will look familiar to you. If you studied GCSE PE, you will have remembered information on the heart and the lungs and on the blood, maybe on movement analysis to do with agonists and antagonists, maybe those dreaded planes and axes of motion. But what might be new to you are biomechanics aspects like Bernoulli's principle of lift, or energy systems where you might have heard of anaerobic and aerobic energy systems, but you haven't studied Krebs cycle and the electron transfer chain and the exact energy yield of each of the energy systems. We're fully expecting that there'll be members of the class who haven't studied GCSE PE, and even if you have, the specification of AQA, OCR and EdXL boards at GCSE are slightly different anyway, so you will all have had different experiences and come to the classroom with different amounts of knowledge, and we're expecting that, and we consider that with our teaching. The psychology section of the course also includes skill acquisition. Topics you've come across before, maybe at GCSE, will include things like skill classification, where you remember open and closed skills. You maybe looked at information processing models with input, decision making, output and feedback. And you've probably covered things that we see in psychology in the second year of the course, such as goal setting and SMARTer. We'll add to that with some more psychological studies on things like attribution, the reasons we give for winning and losing, and how these affect our motivation and confidence going forwards. The sport and society section contains old favourites like drugs in sport and discrimination, Hopefully we can dismiss old myths such as white people can't jump and black people can't swim. We'll add to that with a look at the impact of the Victorian era and consider the role the British Empire had on the development of sport, all very topical at the moment. Other topics such as sports technology and the increase of sports analytics and the development of elite sport and commercialisation bring us more up to date. Throughout the course, you will be assessed to judge progress. Godalming call these benchmark assessments, and you will have probably 2 tests each half term. The results of these tests will guide your learning and let us know which areas need more work. They also form the evidence for your annual review grade at the end of the first year. We will use this evidence to also produce a predicted grade at the end of the first year. This is considered by university and other higher education institutes as part of their selection process, and by completing these at the end of the first year, it allows you to make informed decisions about what course choices you will make. The practical element with the written coursework will be continually assessed throughout the first 4 terms of the course, aiming to finish the practical assessment by around Christmas in the second year, and the coursework will probably completed by about February half term. If you use football, rugby, netball, hockey or basketball as your main sport for assessment, and remember you only need to use one, we will be able to provide all of the assessment opportunities for you as part of our sports provision. Other sports might require you to provide the evidence of your competitive experiences. Unlike GCSE, currently there's no option to gain evidence in practice situations, and this makes it difficult for us to provide opportunities in every sport. But by allowing you to use the activity of your choice, hopefully we can maximise your grade. There's no such thing as a typical PE student. They often study different subject combinations and go on to work in a whole range of different careers after Godalming. Over the years, though, just over half of our students have continued their study of PE and sport at university. Sport and exercise science is a popular choice at universities such as Loughborough and the lesser universities Birmingham, Bath, Exeter and so on. Sports development and coaching and increasingly sports therapy are popular, the latter as an alternative to physiotherapy that is often more clinically based. Many of our past students are now PE teachers, heads of year and assistant heads. You may well have been taught by them over the years. Lots of other career paths have been chosen. For the last 2 years, we've been fortunate to have students offered places on medicine degrees. We've had physiotherapists, people on business management and law courses. Many of our students that go straight into the world of work on sport and leisure apprenticeships, and many local personal trainers have studied at Godalming College. I hope you can all attend one of the live team sessions on the 25th or 26th of June. We'll try and give you a flavour of a typical A-level PE lesson in these difficult times. It would be useful if you could consider the following question before you come. Can you think of a time that you have seen violence in a sport or physical education setting? This could be personal experience, if you've witnessed it on the pitch, or it could be footage you've seen from television over the years. Consider what caused it and what we could do to prevent it happening again. This topic will form the basis of the live session. Thanks for listening to this short video, and I hope it covered some of your questions. The Teams channels that you'll have access to shortly will give you an opportunity to talk to us one-to-one, either through live calls or through online chat. Have a great summer, and I look forward to meeting you all soon.